Good morning, afternoon, evening, everybody. Welcome back to our final recap of the Osumania 4K World Cup. It's so sad to see that we're already done, and it feels like just yesterday that qualifier started. We are obviously going to be talking about the Losers Grand Finals and the Grand Finals match to see which team out of China, South Korea, and of course our winners bracket team, the United States, will be known as the champion of 4K this year. Enough said though. Buckle up since these matches are not something you want to miss.
This is the penultimate match, and China and South Korea are battling it out in the Losers Grand Finals to see who will earn a spot to face the United States for first place. South Korea is no stranger to high pressure matches, being the most decorated team in the history of MWC. After a 4th place finish last year, they want to prove to everyone that they've still got the magic, and China is the first name on the list. On the other hand, China has tasted defeat at the hands of the United States not only in the last round but also last year in the Grand Finals. They're here for revenge, and South Korea is another rung in the ladder to get there. The match starts with Hybrid 4 chosen by South Korea. Immediately, there's a noticeable difference in both combo and accuracy between the two teams, as South Korea easily secures the first point. China chooses their Protect LN1. It's a lot more closely contested halfway into the map, with China having a decent lead. Banjo starts acting up, so the winner is unclear for a bit. However, by the end we're able to see that China has won, with a spotlight on Fomelt's FC on the chart. To bounce back, South Korea picks the Korjak map Rice 4. Korjak has always been sink or swim, especially at a Grand Finals level. However, all of the players are able to butterfly by with an FC, but Gex takes it a step further, looking like Michael Phelps. Another LN is chosen by China with September, and yet again China runs away with another victory. This team has such great consistency and is able to maximize the advantage gained from South Korea's drops throughout the map. The next map up is Rice 6. It swings back and forth throughout the map, misses being traded out again and again until the final section hits, where China suffers a full team wipe and South Korea takes the lead 3-2. China is next to pick and they opt for LN2. Parasol Tree takes an early drop, but China has the better accuracy throughout the map. Because of this, things get scarily close towards the end.
Hit error bar is massive, but Worm does find a miss, a big miss at that as well, down to 99.4, 8,000 points now, the lead in South Korea. They still haven't missed 3 full combos.
imyeeyee is getting much earlier hits apparently, I think. On this hit error is dangerously early.
But does it matter if you full combo? Remember what we've been saying. It doesn't matter if your accuracy is not perfect anymore, because if you manage to pull out a 3-way full combo, you win the map straight up. South Korea breakpoint.
This is the first breakpoint, and it's quite late into the set, so South Korea wants to keep up the speed by going for Rice 1. The back half of the map is abysmal, and South Korea finds themselves in a hole. However, there is light shining through.
A few thousand points, Nod finds a miss, but that
accuracy... They have to survive! They have to survive! They have to survive! Gex is now the only SC left, and is still keeping up!
And that's enough! South Korea! They're gonna steal their own point back!
Gex, my dude, you cannot do this to us! There's no way you actually SC with 992! 3,200!
30,000 point swing. Gex is ridiculous.
It's another major victory for South Korea to snatch, and China is running out of options in the lower half of the pool. They believe Hybrid 3 is the best choice, a chart so demanding it overwhelms players and makes a full combo nearly impossible. There were times where half of the players were getting back up to combo cap, but South Korea was the one to survive the onslaught, headed by imyeeyee's FC. This is now South Korea's 4th consecutive point, and now stands at match point on their own pick. The previous Rice map was a little too close for comfort, so they staked their claim on the site China was just at and pick Hybrid 2. Much like the other hybrids, they're extremely tough for the players to get both good accuracy and combo. However, it is on this map that South Korea finishes off the match, taking the win against China 7-2. Congratulations to China for podiuming once again this year, earning a 3rd place finish. There's only one more match left to cover, and we all know what that is. I'll leave it to SunApple to end it off.
Well. It's time. The moment that everyone has been waiting for all tournament. This is the Grand Finals match between the United States and South Korea. The matchup between the US and South Korea is a classic one that has occurred numerous times over the past few years, most recently being the 2023 Grand Finals, and once again, they have met on the biggest stage. Protects are Hybrid 1 for South Korea and LN1 for the US, but funnily enough, we see an LN3 and LN2 ban, so this does not give much information on what both teams want to focus on, and Korea picking first goes for the Rice 6 anime jump map. Both sides had many misses, and even though the US broke combo more often, the impeccable accuracy from Dev and the 1/201 miss score from Nepigen allowed the US to win the first map by a wide margin and starting the match off with a breakpoint. The US now realizes that maybe the simpler maps are in their favor and almost instantly go for Rice 2. And wow, this is a masterclass performance from Nepigen and Dev. Their accuracies are inhumanly precise. How do you manage to only get 6300s on 300 BPM streams? Korea now have a lot to live up to. They decided to take a short break with a timeout, but it seems quite difficult for them to compete on the Rice maps. They seem to agree with me and choose Hybrid 4, and throughout the tourney they have been exceptional on hybrids, so now it's time to show the world that they continue to be the best, even against the US. It seems like this is the path that Korea needs to take. After winning by over 25k points with 2 FCs to none, they're proving that they're not out just yet. Last time the US went for Rice 2, and normally people would go for a similar pick, Rice 3. But possibly fearing the stamina requirements would be too much, they instead choose Rice 1. Almost 400 BPM streams are nothing to scoff at. But once again, Dev and Nepigen play it as though they were 2-star maps with how phenomenal their scores are, and as a result, this is another easily won point. Hybrid 4 worked out for Korea last time, so they choose another awkward hybrid with Hybrid 3. And even with a 991k score from Hello Sun, the US cannot take another breakpoint because Nod and imyeeyee are simply just too consistent. Their combos throughout the map were far too strong to overcome. Rice 3 is the next pick for the US, and if the trend observed on stream maps continue to be true, then it will not be surprising to see some incredible scores on this challenging stamina map. And after the map is complete, both Nep and Dev top score the lobby even with a miss. Even expecting this, I am blown away. I think at this point it's about time to start checking the PCs of these players because this is just not right. Okay, now it's time for Korea to choose another hybrid map. Of course they will, since they've been dominating on this so far. Wait, why did Gex say LN4? Well, I guess we'll be seeing them play the first LN map. This, however, does not seem to go their way, as Hello Sun once again stays just so consistent on the LNs and hybrid maps, not only top scoring the lobby, but also giving their team another breakpoint. The US has finally ran out of simpler picks other than the super risky Rice 4. As a result, they decided to take a timeout to think things through clearly. After it is finished, they go for LN1 instead of continuing on their streak of Rice. This was a map where misses were traded left and right. It is so hard to tell who is going to win.
So close, less than 1,000 points going into the last chorus, and this is so close.
1,000 points between the two teams and 8th of the map left to go here. The accuracies from South Korea are starting to fall by the wayside. It feels like a little bit falling down below that 99.6 mark. 1,300 points now the lead for the United States. imyeeyee still holding on to the only FC in this lobby, but the United States players have recovered. Nepigen finding another drop, and we're playing tug of war with the leaderboard now. 500 points the margin between the two teams as we make our way to this ending. Is there enough time for Nep to get back up on that fortune call? We got Peach Barrel falls as
goodness!
well. 3,000 points the advantage for South Korea going into this outro. They are not out of it by any stretch of the imagination, but this is going to be a hell of a break point to get back in their favor. Not with the break.
Oh
God!
Oh my God!
No.
Don't do that to me.
God.
Please don't.
I am begging you non-stop.
You can't miss there. You
Oh
can't.
man, that
I'm
was...
Yee. What is that? The only FC in the lobby?
It's time for the comeback. Korea is back in the game. They just have to take one more breakpoint. For their next pick, they decide to return to the hybrid pools with Hybrid 2. But what can I say once again? This Hellson guy is putting on a clutch performance when the team needs it the most. Another FC, another 990k to secure them the returning breakpoint. It's match point for the US. After a bit of waiting, we see them once again return to the reliable Rice maps that they've been performing so well on in this match with Rice 5. Flashing forwards to halfway through, we see the lead start to form for Korea, but it seems like once the lights got too bright, Korea faltered for just a second too long.
Quarter of the map left, and that's going to increase their lead to about 5,000.
An eighth of the map left to go. It is 5,000 points in favor of the United States. There's a couple misses from the South Koreans, but imyeeyee might have enough time to get back up in the 400 combo cap. Might be able to start making some inroads here. There's been a insane amount of effort being put in to try and keep this lead in check, but the clock might be striking 12 here for the South Koreans. It is still 5,000 points in favor of the United States. The FC from Dev as Gigi finds another drop, and that might be the straw that breaks the camel's back as the last couple of notes begin to rain down. Your 2025 Oceania 4K World Cup champions are going to be the United States, winning it out 7-3.
After everything is over, it is decided the US is the victor of the Oceania 4K World Cup 2025 edition, cementing their mark on history as the only team other than Korea to achieve the three-peat. For MVP, it'd be crazy to not mention a certain player who's been thriving in the background. That, of course, is Nepijin, who has led both the team in support as well in their scores. Sorry, Korea, you could not complete the fairy tale run after everyone counted you out. Still, the bounce back from last year has been incredible. This Korean team proves that they are not out of talent just yet.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to the final interview for the MWC 4K 2025 tournament. We have a couple of players from Team Korea, so if you guys want to introduce yourselves.
Hello, here's Korea's MWC captain Poca.
Hello, I'm imyeeyee, one of these MWC's player.
Okay, nice. And joined with us is my friend Siwonton. He doesn't play Osu at all, but he's serving as a translator if you want to say hi, Siwonton.
Hello.
There we go. And so our first question is going to be for you, Poca.
Yeah.
You have been with the team for a long time. What are some things inside or outside of the game that you think went really well this year compared to previous years?
예년보다는 팀
Yeah, so there were definitely parts from last year that were better. There was a bit of division within the team, but I'm glad to see that the system seemed to progress, where sort of differences of opinion sort of could come together and form a teamwork.
Okay, very cool. Thank you, Poca. This next question is for you, imyeeyee.
Yeah.
You didn't see a lot of play in the early stages, like round of 32, round of 16. I think you played a couple of maps, but you became very important later on in the finals and grand finals matches. What was that like?
처음에는
The first time, it was definitely a little nervous or nerve-wracking, but coming in from the early stages into the harder maps in the late stages, it was definitely gratifying to sort of become that crucial piece.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah, that's good to hear, imyeeyee. So this next question is for both of you. Your match versus the United States was very close for a lot of the points. How confident were you guys after your victory over China, coming into the match against the US?
일단 중국
During the American match, I thought that if we could make it to the grand finals, we'd have this sense of a really good, strong team with all these Korean members. So it'd be a worthwhile thing to achieve, essentially. So that's not to say like the US was a bad opponent or anything, but being able to best the US in such a close match, because we had members of the team, including me and
the full member.
처음에
So at first I was pretty nervous the match with the USA, but after that close match and being able to win, I have confidence that we might be able to do well in the next match as well.
Okay. So you were pretty confident going in after winning against China. Makes sense.
yeah.
Final question for both of you guys, and this is about the future. The South Korean community is one where you have a lot of really good players that are always pushing their skill to their limit. So how do you feel about your chances next year in MWC?
내년엔
I think that next year me and Bus-chan perhaps won't be participating, but I don't think this will negatively impact Team Korea's future given the high number of players with their high skills. I hope that when we do find ourselves a little weak, we can become a little stronger, sort of in a dramatic fashion, and sort of bid everybody to support and look forward to Team Korea's future, even without us.
Nice answer. And then imyeeyee. How do you feel about your chances next year, and are you going to also participate?
올해
Yeah, so some of the players who debuted this year, like mentioned previously, may not be able to participate next year, but I still believe that there are very many strong and good players with strong skills. Next year, even if they don't have this sort of level of impact, I have faith that they will perform well, and I plan to participate myself again next year.
Oh, that's good to hear that you're planning on playing next year. Thank you guys so much for having this interview with us. Before we end it, is there any person in particular or any people that you want to give a shout out to?
Shout out to Naz and Gex.
Yeah, not
Say,
they did really good this year. imyeeyee,
Yeah.
any shout out?
저는 저희 팀
Equal
모두에게
to my team.
Yeah, you guys did amazing this year, and I hope you guys do really well next year as well. That'll be it for the interview. Again, thank you for taking the time out of your day to have it. Siwon, do the outro.
Thank you everybody for watching. Be sure to stay updated for any future videos on the Osu match. I'm sure they'll be bangers.
Wow, what a tournament. We've gone from wild qualifier results to an insane round of 32 and so many thrilling matchups along the way, leading up to this moment as we crown our champions, the United States of America. With that being said though, I just want to thank everyone for watching, with a special shout out to my co-host Dynascape, who coordinated every single one of these recaps, and we'd like to thank our video editor Normiplier and our script editor at Case 100. Without everybody, we wouldn't have been able to do any of this. It's bittersweet to see just how quickly time can pass, but now that it's over, we can look back and appreciate just how far we've come. But with that being said, once again, thank you so much for watching the Osumania 4Key World Cup. I've been SunApple alongside my dynamic duo Dynascape, signing off. Bye bye!